Well, well, well. What do we have here? A bucket? Okay. Welcome to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe edition of the Stanley Parable 2 thing. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, check the previous episode. Like this. Seriously. Okay, so we were in the middle of a confusion of tons of buckets. Thanks for dropping by the way. Let's not delay it anymore because, gosh darn, we have F loads of endings.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm doing it. This is way too meta, dude. I'm inside Stanley's Parable.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
What if I just...
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Bottom text. Small floating objects have appeared across the office. We have to synergize our resources to ensure. There were many questions. There was no memo from management. Agenda. How can tell spotted one? Whether one is floating in or what? Okay. Follow clues provided by employee 416. We can do it. Red room. Thank you, good luck. Red room, red door, red room. Things are coming together. Oh, okay. That's the management toilet. That one is, I have no idea. Maybe we are the collectibles. See? Clues? myclue.jpg. What? Red room. There will be a reward for finding them all. Lies. Stop kidding yourselves. I want them to... I want to go home. Cleaning up this all required. Who are you? 666 lol. Mission status. Inside of the sequel exhibit, yes. A large room, lots of boxes, stairs, something to do with stairs. Okay. Somewhere with both red and blue. Nearby a fireplace. Private but smelly place for an okay, wait, what? Is this some kind of a game? There must be a point to this. We got the sequel. The fireplace? No. Large room, lot of boxes. It's confusing with the 6. This is not an actual up-to-date stuff for my gameplay. Warehouse access plan. I produce a plank allow transfer the bridge allow the retrieve Chris's remains from the warehouse floor. Construct new structurally sound bridge. Wait, fireplace. Nearby a fireplace. Well, this is behind the fire. Oh, what? Well, okay. This is not fully Stanley. I mean, this is Stanley Parable, but I'm like a little bit over the regular endings right now. A bit deeper on that. Trust the completionist instinct. Thank you. Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless. Okay. Jesus. Oh, 27. Okay. This is somewhat, yeah, somewhat red and blue. I cannot go there with the bucket. Stairs, something to do with stairs. Is this the Mariana place?
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers.
Yeah.
If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Okay. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Aha!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I'm thinking. Sometimes I do that. I gotta see the bucket ending with Mariana. If there is any.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours.
No.
He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity.
I'm
and
here.
Then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
My bucket was inside me after all.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Backflipped all the way to work. Shit. Okay. So we already saw this ending without a bucket. The original Stanley Parable ending, and this was the bucket way of ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
But it is not my bucket. Oh, God.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
Yeah.
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home, here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
Yeah. I start to get it.
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Okay.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now run.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
I already did like 100.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Wait, I can go to bucket heaven or something? Oh god, I'm losing my shit.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I know.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Okay,
Stanley
I start
took
to
the
get
door on
it.
his left to go back to the meeting room.
Wait, a lot of boxes. This could have a possible bug figurine in it, maybe. But okay, let's try the different one. I don't think I can go there with the bucket.
Said the bucket.
We'll see.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here,
said the bucket.
go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Okay, that's gonna be drastic if I do everything. There's a lot of boxes, so a figurine could be here. But I don't see it anywhere.
Now pick up the phone,
said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home where we can go about life together.
Well, guys, I tell you a little secret.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Donny with the funny now.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invaders who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Okay.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
It's okay.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Okay.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Yes.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Okay.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Let me guess. If I go on the left, there will be an issue in the meeting room.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Yes. What?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
And that's, my friend, that's the true ending of the original one. But this is the Ultra Deluxe edition. So if you want the Ultra Deluxe edition ending, it seems, you need to get the bucket somehow. Interesting.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
What if
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay. This one actually follows my stuff. Large room, lots of boxes, somewhere both red and blue. Okay, I have ideas. Hi.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remit. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss has suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Boss. Okay. Can I? go here? Lots of boxes. Okay, that can be checked in a different way. There are 2 rooms. Can be done without the bucket in my hand. What is this? Another elevator. Okay. Hello? Stanley. How long we are going? What the fuck? What? Go up? What the actual? Huh? Let's go down then again. This doesn't make much sense. Is there anything that made sense so far? Anyway. Ah.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So smelly place, fireplace, whatever place. Okay.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Everything is a bucket, but the bucket cannot talk.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
The Mariana ending.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
My bucket wanna roller skate.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never!
Putting his head into the bucket and
His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Except for the bucket.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Yeah.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good.
Except...
Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Except, I know what's happening in normal case. Without a bucket here. Now let's see what happens with the bucket here.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds.
What?
Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
The fuck? Silly birds. Okay. That's not what I expected.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
What? That's a bit different from normal endings. Okay.
The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Hey, Stanley. Stanley, it's me. Just calling to let you know that you left your bucket at home. Silly. It's okay. I'm off to pick up groceries soon, so I could swing by your work and drop the bucket off at... Oh, wait a minute. This isn't your bucket. Wait, whose bucket is this? Well, if it doesn't belong to anyone else, I guess I could just, keep it. Yeah, I'd really like to hang out with this bucket for a while. Oh, sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, have a nice day at work. I'll be here at home with my bucket. Bye, Stanley.
What? You know what? I'm just gonna jump out of the window with a bucket. I don't care. There's like tons of endings. And I can't go up. It doesn't let me. With a bucket. All because of you, bucket. Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yeah. Somewhere with both red and blue, a large room, lots of boxes. Okay, that's gonna be a tricky thing. Hi.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no room. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Yeah, so now I go there, okay. Ah. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
The most logical bucket ever. Oh god. Now I'm gonna try out an ending, which is already crazy, but with a bucket, so it will be different. And then we can try out endings.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Uh-huh.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Yes. So this ending is quite different, I guess, from the bucket one. I mean, every ending is already changed, so there are new content and there are endings which are totally different if you have the bucket. Interesting. Let's see how this looks like, even if we didn't saw the original one yet in the videos, at least that I make, but we will. Okay.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley,
Said the narrator.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
You're kidding me. We're gonna do this ending with the bucket. Okay. Stanley Parable. Yeah.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
All of the contents here in this ending are changed for the bucket story. I think. Wait, even the room is different. The bucket. Welcome you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within a whatever void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched with substantiated knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. And where am I? Oh, will you take that, what you learned here, out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were in ignorance and darkness? Okay.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
How meta is this? Jesus. Buckets. 25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. It's more than 25. Okay, Leonardo. A bucket with two handles. This bucket is depicted as having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. You know, this is referring to the guy in the middle with double legs and stuff, arms. Just saying, for those who don't know. Okay. A rusty bucket. No. Inferno bucket. I hear something. Okay. Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control a bucket. Cave drawing. I cannot read this seriously. What is stuff going in my ear? While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of practical uses of the bucket. Sorry. By which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Treasures. Fuck, I'm dying here. Sorry.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Okay, sorry. I don't edit videos these days because I just don't have time for it and stuff like that. I work too much, but you have to bear with me in that. Shit. How the fuck these guys made this game again? In never mind, a fucking bucket. Okay. The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship. Okay. Yeah. Gotta keep it together somehow. I think this might be well, it's not gonna be a short episode, but I'm gonna need some mental recovery after this. Oh god. The problem is, I know the original part of this whole area, and it's completely different. Oh shit. Okay. However, clear our grasp of the buckets may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. Its distance inevitably is for our own good. I have no idea what the fuck. Oh, can I jump down? Okay. Bucket! No, I missed one! Please!
But there is something we can do.
Quit the
Something we
game.
can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine.
No.
Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Okay, that's a bit different without the bucket, but okay, I'll take it. What did we forget so far? Crush. Oh yeah. We have one more thing to do with the
Stanley
bucket.
decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, so I have in my mind everything what I need right now. This didn't change.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom
Yeah.
simply because I have no... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Yeah. Good. Huh? That's a new one. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Huh. Okay. Bucket. Oh, I forgot to turn on the computer, whatever. That wouldn't be Stanley's heaven then. It would be bucket heaven. Oh, whatever. So, what do I need to do now? That ending leads there, that ending leads there. Oh shit. Oh crap. Anything different here? By the way? Wait. Can I do the rocket ending with the bucket? Rocket bucket?
Stepping in.
I got a bucket. I'm gonna do the bucket, the rocket ending with the bucket. The rocket bucket. Rockety buckety. Let's go do the rockety buckety. My broom closet. Yay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So there's actually one ending left, I think, that I can do with the bucket. And then I can continue without the bucket. Any computer? Oh yeah, at least I can do this. Good. So we go here. Yes. With a bucket. Wait, the red door. That's a red door, but that's not red and blue. The red and blue is different. That doesn't require a bucket. But why this elevator looks like the other elevator, which is an elevator? Wait. Ah, I thought it's a bucket painting. Whatever. Okay. Anything different if I go with a bucket on the rocket? Buckety, rockety, buckety, rockety, buckety, rockety, bucket. Fuck, I'm losing my shit again. I don't care that I have to pay, even if I got a discount, which I'm very glad, because I own the original Stanley Parable one. But yeah, they definitely deserve the money for this sort of a remake. But if somebody plays this the first time, dude, the bucket is just a big thing. I know this sounds stupid, but Jesus. Okay, let's see. We did this. I don't even know which part, which episode, but without the bucket. Wait, now it's different. It's not giving me the... sending the bucket only. The problem is I start to understand the whole thing about the bucket. Wait. If I leave this place, I cannot go to there, right? Because this one will close. So I can't go to the bucket. And can go to bucket heaven. Because this will be Stanley's heaven. Okay. Begin the game again? Yeah. So there is one thing I didn't done with the bucket.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
And no, you're not gonna get me with that bullshit. Replacement bucket.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
Ah. Because I crashed it or shut it up to space. This is way too meta. Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest
Need to
and
go
entered the door on his left.
to the right side.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
This is a place with boxes. I need to check it. First... Okay.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not
Mother-
question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was
How
firmly
the
convinced
hell
that
I
the
get
bucket had spoken to him,
there?
and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
There is the collectible with planks. You see?
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley
There's
once
the-
again obeyed blindly.
Uh-huh. Huh. Okay, sorry guys, I just lost all my logic. Okay, now we pick up the phone. And we will see how this bucket variation will happen.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will...
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh lordy. This is absolutely different than the non-bucket way of ending this. Wait, what? Where's my bucket? Just kidding. Bucket. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press G to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Where's my bucket? Biggest problems in life. Where's my fucking bucket? Come on. Come on. Oh, sorry. I'm blind. Press V to take me back home, would ya?
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Press P to go home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket.
Yeah.
You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from, me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket, this stupid hunk of metal.
Yes, and to ignore anyone in your life except for me. Okay.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press X to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
To relive this same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Go, press Q to go home to work to home to work to home.
Oh no, I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Hello there, Bucket. How are you feeling tonight?
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. Okay. And this is where we cut off this episode. About Stanley and the bucket and the rest. Oh boy. We are nearly done with the bucket, but the bucket will be there. And believe me, there's like most of the stuff of the game you didn't even see. You just see some stuff from the Ultra Deluxe edition. The original Stanley Parable isn't not really even... We saw like 1 or 2 endings from like at least 20 or more. So yeah. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good day. Keep it safe. And check out the other videos. Maybe you like something and hate something on my channel. Oh yeah, you can find the like button, subscribe. That helps a lot, I guess. And yeah, just have a nice day. See you in the next one. Bye bye.